I'm particularly interested for the first time meeting the folks from Bonfire here myself. I've been following the project from a distance, but I'm really happy to meet them both and looking forward to hearing how things are going. So I will pass across the mic and let's hear about Bonfire.
Did I put? Yeah, works.
There we go.
Thank you. So we're quite happy that Mastodon take the lead this morning, not having a technical talk. Our talk will not be technical neither, and we think it's actually a good sign. And actually, also the title is not the real one, because this talk is called Contaminated Infrastructure. And this is a talk about embracing contamination. It suggests, with example, how we can allow ideas, code, and communities to reshape each other for mutual benefit, about how we approach and navigate complexity in Bonfire, about an alternative path to the big tech dominant vision, and about how the Fediverse and the social web can enable building things that are greater than the sum of their part, and also about why it is important right now. To talk about contamination, maybe it's easier to start from the opposite, and the opposite of contamination is purity. And the Silicon Valley builds for purity. They scale by eliminating variance. They chase acquisition over partnership. They create walled garden over ecosystem, and their user and everything they create are monetized. And therefore, big tech produce monocultures. And monocultures are fragile. And when a platform enshittifies, users have nowhere to go with their relationship intact. When a company strategy shifts, entire communities discover their infrastructure was only rented, and their landlord can change the rules and kick them out anytime. We see this in agriculture. Monoculture produces enormous yields until a pest arrives that the single crops can't resist. Then everything collapses at once. We're watching the same things happening in tech, platform after platform, the same pattern. But communities need a viable alternative. Democracies need social infrastructure that are public common good.
Yeah, and so we're trying to take a different path and building Bonfire as an infrastructure that can evolve through the people that we meet and who get involved. We try and build components that interact and combine in ways that even we can't predict. Organizations that reshape each other's roadmaps, resilience through entanglement rather than control. We think that plurality is actually a strength rather than a problem to be hidden, and complexity as well. And yes, this means that people are constantly asking, but what is Bonfire? I don't get it. And sorry if you still don't get it after this talk. At first glance, Bonfire might look like another microblogging platform, but we try to go beyond that. We share long-form articles, events, book reviews, and much more. And unlike traditional social networks, where connections are just like friends or followers, Bonfire goes beyond that binary. You can create circles for like your family, a book club, FOSDEM peers, or any group you want. And when you post, you can choose what circles can see, interact, or
I got
comment,
magenta.
or edit. Each circle also comes with its own feed, and you can then share a circle itself publicly, and that becomes like a starter pack in Blue Sky, or just with selected circles. Bonfire puts communities in control of their experience. And how do we do that? It's by being modular and extensible. Every feature in Bonfire, every Bonfire app is assembled from extensions. Extensions aren't just add-ons, plugins that you can add a little feature. They're the substance. Everything in Bonfire is built as an extension, and that means that you can swap them out and replace them. Every feature, including posts, accounts, following, likes, boosts, events, all of that is just an extension that can be replaced or forked. This means communities can assemble their own apps, enable what they need, disable what they don't, set their own defaults. And people can create their own extensions and easily fork them and customize just a specific feature without having to maintain an entire fork, which takes a lot of work. The software then becomes different things in different hands, and Bonfire adapts to each context. No two communities need the exact same thing, and thanks to modularity, we don't have to pretend that they do. And ActivityPub is what enables all of that.
I love this. I love this one right here. So, if you look at this, this is what they are looking to do. It's not there yet. So we have podcasts. You have events in the center there. There's calendar. There's podcasts listed down at the bottom. Articles are already there. This is what they're trying to do, is a single place for you to exist to get all of your information, essentially, in any format. And not only that, but to view it the way you want. I like it.
Content to flow between platforms and apps and instances, evolving as they go. The specification is very rich and extensible. We can go beyond notes with events, articles, audio, video, etc., a whole vocabulary of social forms. And we're building for communities that don't have a single purpose and can do whatever they need to do. We want to support a diversity of needs, and that's why software needs to be able to be changed by their users, by people involved. Communities can become a meeting
Easily
point
changed. Easily,
where
too.
everything flows through your space without losing shape, and people don't have to sign up to a bunch of different places. This doesn't mean centralizing everything in one place. It just means that everything is discoverable where you are. But people can still use the best tool for the job. If you want to upload a video to appear to you, that's great, but it can still flow back to your space and not feel disconnected.
But federation and contamination happens also beyond code. Between organizations, between different peoples, between different communities, between different ways of working. Bonfire exists within this web of alliances. Each of them bringing different expertise.
I don't know why the bar is still there, but it is what it is.
And here are some examples. Newsmass Foundation, they are a UK non-profit. They build native iOS and Android apps focused on community needs. When a client, like a local community, a publication, or a cooperative, needs a community space, Newsmass provides them custom mobile application in the Apple Store. This means that the app have the community name, their identity, their different content, and their members. Now, in the short future, a custom version of Newsmass native app will be powered by a Bonfire instance, integrated with the open social web. And this means that when clients need new features, we can coordinate. We build together and create interoperability through API. So both Bonfire and Newsmass grow together. Mutual development means we all benefit and improve. Lauti, Klasse und Methode. It's a German tech collective. They build Lauti, that is a great calendar and event publication tool for grassroots organizing. They're also here in this room. Events functionality are a core need for most communities, but we didn't want to reinvent the wheel in Bonfire and increase the maintenance burden when there are great open source apps available. So instead we are collaborating to integrate the two. Events will be soon able to federate from Lauti to Bonfire using the ActivityPub client-to-server API. More on this later. And people on the other side can join Lauti with their Bonfire account and publish events directly without extra login or silos. And Coop Cloud. Coop Cloud is a cooperatively governed commons for self-hosting. They include a simple and reproducible deployment tool called Abra, and a catalog of recipes for deploying open source applications, which are maintained collectively, reducing the risk and the maintenance burden for everyone. Coop Cloud is also the recommended way to install Bonfire, and this is because it's also meaning that you can join a federated community of cooperative infrastructure. You are not on your own just installing another app on a server. And this is all great, but actually, what does it mean for real community? Here are two communities that are already building with such infrastructure. The first is Jacobin, the German edition. It's a political magazine, probably most of you know them.
I didn't know about them until this.
100,000 or more readers, and they needed a community space that isn't HTTPable. Somewhere the readers can discuss, they can organize and connect, on ground they control. We are co-designing this together. Their editorial team, their designer, working with the Bonfire infrastructure, but not only us. They will have a community app that will be built on Newsmast. They will use the Lauti calendar for organizing events. And their infrastructure will be hosted on...
That's huge.
And this is the other.
Another example is Totnes Pulse. Totnes is a small town in southwest UK, and they have a WordPress blog and a place where they post events and curate events, everything that's happening in town. And what they're missing is a community. The community of the town instead is split in like 3 Facebook groups. There's like, you know, the forked group that is not fascist, and there's the other one, and there's the one that allows ads, and yeah, everybody hates it. Everybody would like, a lot of people would like to leave, but they're stuck there because that's where you are involved in the town goings on, and that's the case in many towns and neighborhoods around the world. So they're setting up similarly an app and an events tool powered by Lauti, and with the backend powered by Bonfire, where they're going to have events and local news, but also community discussions. Optionally connected to the rest of the Fediverse, but first focus on just the residents. So here's how it works from the point of view of an event organizer, in this case, Totnes Cinema, which is a little non-profit, really cool cinema that puts on several events every week. And so here they would be posting an event. This is the Lauti interface for event organizers. And so they can upload a picture, they put all the event details in, post that, and then magic happens. When you press that button, not only is there an event in Lauti, but, and there it is, but it also federates to Bonfire and shows up there, and you can comment on it, you can boost it, which
that's how this should have worked. All of this should have worked.
Social thing.
From the beginning.
And, this is all thanks to client-to-server API. A few people talked about it today. What we realized, client-to-server API, even if no client apps are using it, it's perfect for server-to-server federation when the app like Lauti is not yet federated. They very quickly were able to implement client-to-server API, just send the event metadata to Bonfire, and then we can federate that on. And then, of course, it shows up also in a mobile app. So to sum up, what we're offering here, it's not a product, it's not a service, it's an ecosystem of people who meet together to meet needs. People who share costs, share risk, share expertise and knowledge, share governance over the tools they rely on, and reinforce each other's capacity to adapt, survive, and thrive. This is how we think open source can become sustainable, not by mimicking startup economics,
yes,
but by building ecologies where survival is mutual, by making sustainability a shared, ongoing, cooperative project rather than a lonely competition. Europe today is at a crossroads, and Sandra talked about it earlier really well, so I'm not going to go into it, but basically we think that public funds need to fund not just public code, but truly public infrastructure, and that means not just the software, but also the moderation labor, the maintenance, localization, accessibility, research, including social science, to figure out what is the impact of what we're doing.
Governments need to get involved.
So what's coming next for Bonfire? We are working with the Social Web Foundation and with the Mystery with Ben on implementing end-to-end encryption.
Yeah.
So it means privacy at the protocol level.
And interestingly enough, Esoteric Programmer was talking about this, and he was disappointed because it's MLS. And Ben Pate, the creator of Emissary and Bandwagon, as well as some other things, pointed out that MLS can be centralized. In this case, they are not. They're not looking at centralization. I'm a lot more optimistic about this bond. Hey, we gotta have something. I have to something. I can't accept. It might not be Bonfire that takes off. I've seen enough of it to know that it can work. There are bugs. Of course, there are bugs. It's two guys working on a very complex software stack, but there has to be something. It can't keep going on. I know. I'm also very optimistic about PeerTube, and I've been having a lot of struggles with it recently, but at this point, it's better than what we had, which is nothing.
And then we really would like to work on federated groups. And actually, we extended the crowdfunding campaign, and it's active right now, and mostly used for hopefully funding the federated group development. And they will work across instances. They will have its own governance. And
triggered? Who's triggered? Me?
Also bridging.
PeerTube, yeah.
BridgeFed, a new social, are doing, and we support the idea that the Fediverse is not only the only decentralized social network emerging. Users should be able to talk to all of them if they choose so. And of course, more extension and widget. We are proposing this idea of having a dashboard as the logged on page for Bonfire, so the user will not go straight to a timeline, to a feed, but they will have a dashboard that is basically a set of components of plugin where all their meaningful data for them will be shown. And then it will be their own choice to go through a timeline if they want, trying to not have a dark pattern enabled by default. So please get involved. Try Bonfire if this resonates. Run an instance, see what breaks, because bugs, there are a lot of bugs, but we will fix them. And so, more than anything, tell us. Build on it. The extension system is open. Build what your community really needs. Form new alliances. The ecology that we just described is just one example. It's one possibility. Other entanglement, other combination can emerge. We want to hear from you. And just to wrap up, at the beginning we end up with a quote from Anat Singh that really inspired the Bonfire project in a lot of ways. As contamination change world-making project, mutual words and new direction may emerge. Everyone carries a history of contamination. Purity is not an option. One value of keeping precarity in mind is that it makes us remember that changing with circumstances is the stuff of survival. Anat Singh, studying ecology and capitalism, wrote about mushroom, about forest, and about supply chain and survival in the ruins of industrial capitalism. And of course, she was talking about us. Thank you.
Awesome, Inuit. Good job, man.
Thank you. I'm imagining there's going to be some questions. Here's one in the front already.
Hello, I'd like to ask if this event system is already usable. I can use this now, and how this does compare with, for example, Gancho or Mobilithon. There are similar applications.
Did you understand? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely interoping with Gancio, Mobilizon, and the others. There's a workshop tomorrow if you're interested about that. Birds of a Feather, I think, that we're going to participate in. Yeah, so
yes.
In terms of the
it's 100% pertinent to us.
Yes. In the hall afterwards.
Yeah, there's Birds of a Feather tomorrow. There's two Fediverse-related ones. There's a Hachyderm one at 10 a.m.
When I talked to them about this, I had asked before this video came out, and they said couple months to mid-year, I think it was. But Lauti is actually doing, my understanding, don't quote me, Lauti was actually doing a lot of the work to get it integrated into Bonfire, and they're helping integrate it. I could be wholly wrong on that.
events and calendaring one at 11 a.m. So if you check the FOSDEM schedule, you should see those. There's also a panel that the executive director from Mastodon is on in the EU open source policy dev room tomorrow.
Correct, Inuit. Well, so there's two parts of it. So Lauti is like Gancio or Mobilisons, in that is a calendar app. I don't know if that works really, Jan. You gotta ask Logal how to do that. I think it might only be mods. I don't know. So those are calendar apps, but Bonfire is not only going to be able to show those, but it's going to have... No. Hang on. So Mobilisons, Lauti, and Gancio. They don't have full federation in that it's not an entire stack. It's a C2S, client to server, so they only have to do part of the work because they're only pushing out. But Bonfire is going to be able to handle those events, but not only that, it will have, in the future, they're planning on having an actual app inside of Bonfire that is a calendarer. Lauti is not federated, I think, publicly yet, but in this presentation they said they worked with them to get client to server to help them federate. They actually showed what it looked like, or a demo of it, I don't know. But Bonfire is also going to have a calendar app in it, so you can set events and you can see events from that calendar app.
In our holding sections, well, in between sessions today, just to make sure everybody knew about the other Fedi-related content. Any other questions? There's one from Jazz. Oops.
Yes, Michael King, founder of Ivtas.
Hey guys.
I don't know what that face is, you know what?
Like you slipped in there a little tip of an iceberg, and everyone may have missed something below the surface. Did you add a little flavor?
You do not understand. So Lauti, so C2S. So there's two formats. There's S2S, server to server, and that's how Mastodon servers talk to each other, right? Full Mastodon stack. But then the C2S, client to server, they're not expected to ingest ActivityPub messages. So like Owncast, I don't know if it is or not. Owncast could be C2S in that it just pushes out ActivityPub notifications. Lauti, Mobilisons, and Gancio can all push events like that, right? But Bonfire is going to have a calendar in it as well. So you could have your own Lauti, and anyone on the Fediverse can then follow that calendar, and they get updates. But the calendars of Bonfire, this is my understanding, I could be wrong, but the calendar in Bonfire is essentially building off of that Lauti stack, and you'll be able to see your calendar in Bonfire. You will be able to create events and push them out to those that follow you, and you'll be able to see events that you follow on that calendar. Did that make sense? No, not Luanti. That is my understanding, Inuit. Yes. If you follow someone's calendar, when they push an event, it shows on the dashboard calendar. But then you can create in a calendar event that other people can follow. That's my understanding. I could be wrong.
Can you add a little flavor to what you spoke about with the client to server working for you in that particular non-federating application?
Which one? Client to server. Yeah. Yeah, so we realized client to server is perfect for apps that haven't yet or maybe won't implement full federation, because that's a huge job, especially to get it right and interop with all the other projects. Unless you're using maybe a shared library, there's starting to be some of those. The federation code in Bonfire is also available as a library for other projects to use. But it's still a lot of effort. So instead, what Lauti does is simply create JSON, and now I'm getting technical, JSON object and activity streams with all the metadata of the event, and sending one post request to Bonfire with that, saying, post that to my account. The account has already been authenticated with OAuth, so you just click a button, it authenticates. So it's as simple as that. You set that up once, and then when you post the event on Lauti, it gets pushed to Bonfire, and then that enables commenting, following, and all of that.
Okay, we'll take one more question, and then we'll
Does that make sense?
switch sessions.
Somewhat. Oh, and they cut out. All right. So they might have taken another one, but we're not going to see it. Oh, I don't want to watch that yet. Somewhat. Yeah. That's usually the go-to with Bonfire, is somewhat. You got to chip a little away yet. Chip away little pieces to understand it. And using it helps.
I'm Mao Pacheco.
Mao is awesome.
A few years ago, I joined a nonprofit in the US. The simple goal was to use my skills, the skills that I have acquired in my long career as a software engineer, and put it in a good cause, right? So the nonprofit that I choose, or that I get into, is Somos Tech. So Somos Tech is a nonprofit that helps people in underrepresented backgrounds to break into tech, right? So such as Hispanic and Latinx, which I am part of that community, and allies. So I don't know if you know how nonprofit works in the US. I certainly didn't know at the time. But nonprofits usually manage a lot of different things, right? My contribution is snowballed from volunteer to be the CTO of Somos Tech. And there I sit in monthly board meetings talking about two things. So the first one was legal stuff, like how to protect the data of the people that we were getting.
Hey, Eddie.
To, avoid conflict of interest. And lawsuits is almost the American national sport. Maybe.
This isn't the first one I've done.
And the second thing is managing the budget. So the budget in a nonprofit, especially like ours, that is very small, we get money from grants, from company match, or from donations. So the budget was a big thing. But as a CTO, I really wanted to focus in the technology part, in the strategy part. So these are the 4 things that I get myself involved into. So the first was maintaining websites and systems with the help of the volunteers. The second, create content for hackathons or lab training skills. Building community tools like resume reviewers, interview simulators, or matching mentors with mentees, and mainly organizing meetups with people or leaders from the industry. We fast realized that all of these can benefit from digital recognition, right? So each one of these activities, like for the volunteers, maybe the volunteer of the month, maybe for the speakers that went to our events, or maybe when someone completed a hackathon, or maybe a mentorship program, right? So all of these require digital.
Yeah, this is a big one. I really need to get this set up, and I need to get Manyfold set up, because was it Thingiverse was just bought out? And I heard something about AI when it was bought out, and there's rumblings. I don't know.
We went there, and then we looked for options, and then we realized that the biggest one was Credly by Pearson. This is non-sponsored. So we asked for a quote, and it was insanely expensive, right? So this was outside of our budget. it was something that we couldn't pay. So, as a programmer, as a heart, I said, why don't we build one, right? So I pitched that to the board, not because it was easy, but because I think it was easy. It's going to be easy. So the board saw that with good eyes. I vaguely know about open batches and stuff, but we have 100 things more to take care about. So that went to the backlog.
So stood on a
I
Zune.
have been
Oh my
in the
god.
Fediverse for a few years.
I want to see that actually. If you can host something on a Zune.
Twitter, the one that we cannot name, that I moved my presence for good to the Mastodon. So I spent all my time there, and I got really, really involved and excited about ActivityPub.
There you go, Willian.
Everybody here knows what is ActivityPub. And then I start migrating my blog, right? So I start federating my blog, and then I write some posts about it, and then it got viral, for the Fediverse kind of thing, viral, right? Like 5 reposts and 10 likes. But I really knew the challenges of the ActivityPub and the potential of it. And then I remember my project of the batches. So I say, well, why I don't build one, right? Of course, I am not naive. I have a long career. I know that when someone thinks about a good idea, maybe there are others that are working on that. And yeah, I find that there are other things. I think the people that is behind ActivityPods.
I'll be right back. What do you mean the job market's not good right now? What do you mean, Eddie? What are you talking about? They downgraded last year from 600,000 jobs to what, 120,000 jobs for an entire year? Sounds great. Sounds like we're winning. What are you talking about? Communist. I am very grateful I have the job I do, but even there, they're like, yeah, we're constantly consider downsizing. It is a dumpster fire. 100%.
Activity batches, which was trying to create a new specification for how to do this, how to federate batches into the Fediverse, but still, I think it was not what Somos Tech was looking for, and then I decided still to build my own. Now, I have a confession to make. I love .NET, so I know that it's not the first choice for many people in the Fediverse. I know, but I think it's a beautiful language. So I decided to build BashFed in .NET. And I knew that because it's not the first option for many people in the Fediverse, it needs to be scalable, extensible, it needs to be based on standards, it needs to be something that maybe people don't gonna touch the code of there, right? So I decided to do that. I didn't want to create a new standard. So, of course, I looked into ActivityPub and Open Batches. So ActivityPub and Open Batches, as you may know, both are based on JSON LD.
Yeah,
so
he knows.
Language or a specification for linked documents.
Mao Pacheco, if I remember correctly, he was very much familiar with Microsoft services and tools. So if I remember correctly, so that, I mean, it's what he knew, right? Ask Enoent. I literally was making something in, what was I even making in Bash, Enoent? And you're like, oh, I could probably do this in Python. Oh, the, which I still haven't gotten back to, is the PT index stuff.
It's in JSON, and I know that maybe here is gonna be, yeah, I was thinking that maybe I could zoom in, but I don't know how to do it in Mac, so sorry. But basically, this is an open batch object, and it has many sections. It has a section like a batch, an issuer, and a recipient. So the recipient can be a URL or an email. So I decided why not to link the identity of the recipient with an ActivityPub actor, right? Or why not the issuer, which has an ID and a URL, can be that an actor, right? So that's why JSON LD can work on, like you just link a document with another one. So I discovered that in ActivityPub we have attachments. Attachments usually are used for images or for videos or all kind of things, but there is nothing that tells me that it cannot be used to actually attach an open batch, right? So this is how it looks like. So this is a node. This is an ActivityPub node that has inside an attachment that is an open batch. Now, the issuer, the URL of the issuer, it is the same URL as the attributed to like field. So this is how you link that. There are a few other things about how to sign this and everything, but basically this is the main link between an open batch and an ActivityPub node. So now this enables a lot of different things, right? So now issuers can be followed. Then batches can be like commented, you can share, you can boost, you can even quote. So these add social features to our open batches, right? So this is how it looks like. So it basically, this is a batch-fed instance. You can see that I am taking right now an issuer from my batch-fed instance, and I put that into Mastodon. So in Mastodon, I can follow that, and you can see that the nodes show there. The recipients or the batch is also there. I will copy that. I will go to my Mastodon, and then I can interact with that, right? So if I like fast forward a little bit, you can comment in the batch, and then you go to BatchFed, and it will show the comments. So people can interact with the batches directly in BatchFed, right? But now, because an issuer can post a batch, right, and this is an ActivityPub batch, issuers can also follow other issuers. And then issuers can receive those nodes. And then they can validate that those are actually batches. And then so here you can see that that is how the decentralized. 。 centralized. 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 。 . 。 . 。 . 。 . 。
Thank you. Can't wait for the badge system to get purity tested by schisming instance operators. I'm not certain what you mean, Eddie. Like, which one is the true real badge, or?
Aspect works. In this instance, I have external batches and I have batches of that instance, so they can decentralize each other. So now I can just view the batch in the original instance. So this is really a cache. This is very, very similar to how Mastodon does things with nodes. Because I can do that, now I can have relays. I can have one actor that just reposts things about a university, right? I can have batches for my indie games. So in indie game industry can have a relay, and you can follow that actor, and then you can receive the batches for that actor, or for a specific industry, or for a specific region, right?
Hey, logo.
So now the federation enables all of this basically because ActivityPub. So, I mean, I have so many demos, and I don't know how much minutes I have. Yeah, I think I have a few. But I mean, this is something that is working. Now, because batches now lives in the Fediverse, you can create your own wallet, right? You can create your own wallet. Again, this is based on standards, so you can put some code there that listens to.
XYZ person of the day is found to have prestigious badge, which means the badge system is untrustworthy outright unless to revoke and ban and possibly kill the person with it. Yeah, I don't understand. The answer's still no.
Nodes, check that have an open badge, it is linked, do some verifications, and then you can have your own Mozilla backpack, or I think it's called Badger now, that you can have in your domain. You can have your badges there, your employees can go there, or you can, I don't know, say, hey, I am very good in this indie game, and have that in your own domain. Right now,
and it links back to the server. So as long as you know that the server is the correct official server,
you can embed those badges,
which is easier said than done
for some reason
on the internet. But
yeah, so this is my profile. You can go to your profile. You can just copy like a snippet, and then you can embed that inside. I will make all these slides available so you can see all the magic behind batch fed, right? And the thing that enabled this was to Somostech, and I know that this is LinkedIn, but Somostech usually made use of LinkedIn to reach the community, the Hispanic X community. And then you can see here, we have like...
Oh, you're talking like instance cultural issues.
Volunteers for all,
gotcha.
For all our speakers, they don't even know that...
Yeah, I mean, that's something we have to figure out. We're trying to bring the entire world together, and rules and ethics don't exactly line up.
In the Fediverse. So this is really now making an impact in our nonprofit, and now
and I'll say this: your badge server doesn't have to interact with anyone else's. So I can set up a BT free, and when I assign someone a badge, which eventually I want to do things like this is an official admin of BT Free, or this is a guest of Fireside Fedi, or this is a supporter. I don't have to federate with any of the other badge fed instances. Doing so allows kind of redundancy, I guess you could call it, because mine is still the central server. And when you click on the badge, it takes you to my server. I don't know what toaster content is.
I want to expand that.
Willian, I don't, I mean...
So,
Yeah.
The problem was traditional batch platforms were costly, but also were siloed. Now we want to create something that is...
One thing I love about Mao is he says he loves making shirts. So basically every time he goes somewhere new, he makes a new shirt that says something different on it.
The idea that we can link these two technologies, and then we can do this in other instances. I want to see this implementation in other languages if possible, right?
Oh, okay, Eddie.
As a developer, you can go there, you can try to help me in UX, core development, integrations, documentation. There is a lot of things to do there. There are already some people that are...
Yeah, I mean, but that kind of thing...
Very much. I issue some batches. As an organization, maybe
that's,
you can use
as humanity, we need to figure that out. That's not a Fediverse specific thing, right? Like,
so they can just go there and then start issuing batches. Also, as a supporter, you can go to that webpage right now, batchfed.org/get/FOSDEM26. I don't know if my server is going to be able to handle 100 people getting batches, but...
Let's find out.
Yeah, let's find out. So you can break my server right now if you want, and then at the end of the day, this is going to be locked down. So take your batch if you can. There are a lot of challenges, scaling, how to search batches, how to do discoverability. This is not new for batch or only isolated for BatchFed, but also for other kind of Fediverse implementations. Moderation, how I avoid someone to issue a batch that I don't want. It has some basic moderation like public and private and stuff like that, but still we need to have more, right? And then identity portability. How can we move credentials between platforms? How can, this is something that we are having in Somostech, how can they...
Yeah, I think the consequences, especially when there's... So Mastodon, we watched one earlier, Mastodon is doing a like community sign up for servers so that on... Here's my private key sign it. On Mastodon's page, it's going to give you like a list of different servers. But yeah, that's massively detrimental. Let's say the second largest server all of a sudden decides to defederate from the first largest server. Interestingly enough, we have, I don't know how many people are on it, but we have this, except for the fact that people have never realized that it could even federate, which is True Social. Now that I want to be on True Social, I never would interact with that anyway, but let's say they were once federated. If there is a schism and it is large enough, it does fracture the network, 100%. And then we, as communities affected by that, have to figure out what the best case forward is. A lot of folks just don't think about it. They leave it up to their maintainers until they realize something is not right. Something's broken.
Just for BatchFed, this is our challenges for the whole Fediverse implementations, right? So I really believe in this project. So the question is not like...
And my private key is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
But the question is how you are going to help me to get there. All right, so again, these are the links, and I can take questions.
All right, we've got a hand.
Yeah,
we've got a hand here. There was actual vibration where I was sitting, but I think that's because Evan was kind of drumming his hands.
Hi, what's the feedback from the community that you've received about the badges?
So I got good feedback, like a lot of people love badges, but the first thing that I received was that it was spammy. So, because like if you are in a conference right now and you issue 100 badges, you have 100 nodes, right? And if I put a hashtag that is FOSDEM, then people are going to get 100 notes about that, right? So the first thing that I think, Andy, you put an issue? I don't remember. But the first thing that we did is like we add some hashtags that people can filter from, and then we can, we did some modifications there. But we still need to do more modifications, like for example, a badge that can have multiple attachments, and then you can just issue 100 in one node, right? So that was the first thing.
Logo only eats memes.
Foundation from Poland, then joined, and then I realized that everything was in English, right? So I have like a federation discovery I don't know, like a way that you can federate with different batches instances. So that's another one, like, oh, I forgot to add a language, right? So, I mean, the more people use this, the more I will get like closer to something that everybody can use.
What is it?
Just before Evan says anything, I think I've been a big fan of this particular project. I've been a fan of all of your projects. I'm such a Fedi fan. But from my background, I've been in tech for a long time, and yeah, I was at IBM, and they do these badges for your accreditation and things. And then I knew the Mozilla effort around open badges as well. So I just think this is such a cool idea. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. One of the use cases I think you mentioned earlier was about identity verification. I just wanted to check and see like how that works or where you think it would work. Like, this is the real Evan Prodromo.
Yeah, so this project opened to me a world of micro-credentials, right, that I didn't know exist. So there is a whole community there that is very active, and there are a lot of challenges that are not specifically about the Fediverse or the badges itself, but outside it, like how do you trust an issuer, right? Like how do you know? So you can actually issue someone from UK told me, hey, can we verify the age, right? Like now in social media you have like these age verifications. Can we like verify the age? Yeah, of course. Like if you have a
Latinx spotted in the wild. Been a while since that one. I don't know what that is.
An open badge. It is
Latinx.
It has some cryptographic
what that is either.
Protections and everything. So it can help. Yeah, it really can help. I really love the federation, but the same challenges that the community has for the micro credentials things apply here. There is nothing new about that. Yep.
Okay. Anybody else? Got one down there from Ian. By the way, awesome T-shirt, sweatshirt.
Latin Eki.
Whose blog is that? Does anybody know who writes this blog? The Future is Federated.
I think
it's a really good one. You should all be watching it. Sorry, Ian.
So yeah, when I saw this at Fedi Forum, I was blown away.
And I remember that.
And I've been speaking to public service broadcasters who want to use this, and one of the things that they keep on asking me is, could you combine this with some of the bridges, so then you could start to, obviously on your profile you could say, look, I've got this badge, but also you could also push it further as well. Because it seems like it should be possible, but...
It is possible. So I explored this in two different ways, right? So the implementation is very simple. ActivityPub plus OpenBash and JSON LD, right? You can also take that simplicity and go to Blue.
Yeah, did you hear that?
I will search for all the posts that have a link.
How did you hear that?
If the link have an open batch, and voila, you have the centralization there. And the other option is like, I will create a whole taxonomy and stuff, and then in Blue Sky that nobody's gonna support, and then I need to have 100 million of users creating an app that just say that. So you have these two extremes.
It was pretty audible.
It is something
that was my phone.
Mental backlog, but I am very bullish.
Yeah, it's
so I want to
vibrated the desk. But I have a big desk. It's impressive that it moved all the way through there, but I guess that makes sense.
Maybe not
I remembered I have no friends. That was a fart. Willian, you might have to get checked.
It is crazy to me that companies, like big companies, like Microsoft, like say the certifications incredibly. I mean, that is mind-blowing. Like, you need to have your own instance. So, but thank you.
No, I did not, Logo. I really blame myself. It's my fault for encouraging you guys and hanging out with you. I do the exact same thing, so like it's just direct punishment to me. I know she did. I mean, as soon as she started talking about that, and I realized she was on Twitch, and she's. And then I wanted to stream this, so I left. That intern wiggled my eardrums.
James in the blue shirt here is going to do timekeeping for you. Just to let you know when you,
Oh, okay.
how long
It was a fart, yeah.
Thank you.
So how long is this one? 18 minutes.
and that's available on both screens. So is this going to...
Yeah, it's mine.
Oh, I see. Okay. All right, I'll get out of the way.
1, 2. Yeah. Hello. Thanks for having me here today. Today,
Reminder,
I'd like to
9 o'clock tonight,
give a
late night Linux.
about Verify.
I think my wife's calling me. I'll be right back. The API my Python till I execute? I don't know what that classic one is.
Pop server framework for TypeScript.
Microsoft Sam is my dad. Everyone is your dad.
To build federated social app, you know the pain. And today I show you how Verify aims to eliminate these pains. So let me introduce myself. I'm Hong Min Hee, and I'm from Seoul, Korea. it was about 20 hours from there to here.
Oh my God.
Thank you. It's my first time to be here in Europe, so it's exciting. Thank you. And I'm creator of Fedify.
Eno went vibe coded it.
And Pocket, and I also.
I'm sorry. I'm going to apologize for that because I feel that's like one of the biggest insults we can tell each other at the moment. Oh, now my wife needs me. She's going to come in.
Which is Korean community for Fediverse developers.
Oh.
And I also run Hackerspot.
That's not your wife.
Software engineers logging platform.
She said she'd come in and say hi.
Fediverse. And yeah. Let's start with the problem. So why did I build Fedify in the first place?
I could.
When I started to build Holo, my single
what?
Single user Fediverse server software, I thought it would be very easy because HTTP is just JSON over HTTP, and there are W3C specs, and there are many implementations, existing implementations so I can look into that. So I estimated about 2 weeks, but
they want you to come say hi, but they bet $5 you don't know what hi means.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
I got one too.
Yeah, hang on.
Let's come over here.
Oh.
There you go.
Hello. I probably rubbed all my makeup off because my eyes are itchy.
Why are your eyes itchy?
I don't know.
Allergies or?
Allergies, contacts.
All right.
Kids sneezing in them.
Hong Min Hee and Mong Hing Hee say hello.
Hello.
It's Logal, Eddie, and Eno all doing that. She's the eye plague? I don't think so.
No.
We don't buy any Apple products. ¿Cómo está usted, señora Ozond?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
I don't know if you got. Can you hear her? Say it again.
Me?
Yeah.
Muy bien, ¿y tú? I'm going to slide off camera. Slide to the left. Slide to the right. Crisscross. Crisscross.
Did you need me?
Malachi, just text him.
Yeah. I messaged him.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it.
I told him happy birthday.
Yeah, I apologize for having to delay his dinner.
Yeah.
And send him
I don't think he wants the flu for his birthday, so. I don't speak Mexican. Jeez. I only speak American. Poorly. Takis? Yeah, I know Frau. That's it. I'm not even going to attempt to.
Not.
It's not just JSON. It's JSON LD.
It's not just JSON. It's JSON LD. And property names can expand to URIs, and same data can have multiple shapes.
It's complicated.
Specs are.
I don't even know who's who here, so I don't know who knows what.
Also underspecified, and many edge cases are left to interpretation. So there are many implementations, but they really differ. So, for example, activities that let me accept might be rejected by MISKey. So I spent over a month debugging such interoperability problems. So I decided to build my own framework for ActivityPub first.
See, and this is what I'm excited about. I don't know. I mean, I've heard of Fedify. I know of it. I think I'm in the matrix for it. I haven't talked to Hong. But the thing I'm excited about is there are people that are undertaking, just making it easier to make their apps on it. They're taking away their experience. It's like, it works, it's not good enough. Let's build onto that. And I know this is a common technological evolution, but we're seeing it in real time. And I love that. I'm supposed to deploy shit today. Why would you deploy shit? I eat shit. I eat pieces of shit like you for breakfast. You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
It's an opinionated ActivityPub framework for TypeScript.
Yes.
Opinionated.
430 to 435. 430 to 445 is when you deploy things.
Right decisions.
Shit's yeah, I believe that, Andy. Or Inuit. Oh my God. It's like my children. I can't keep anyone's names correct.
First, let's start with the most fundamental problem, dealing with JSON LD. JSON LD is the root cause of ActivityPub complexity, in my opinion. Same data can be multiple representations. And for example, a property can be a string or...
I want to say yes, Logal.
And there's no static types. So you have to...
Because I'm pretty sure the service names are Unicode, so...
And you need to...
It's definitely not just ASCII.
So that
Logo's going to premiere.
Property names expand to full URIs, qualified full URIs. So there are also implementation differences. Mastodon does it one way, MISKey another. So
you better hang on. Logal, I swear to God, if my own casts are running on Windows Server, anything, I'll run it myself.
Your code becomes a mess of...
At what point are we allowed to call it, instead of Windows, can we call it Epstein OS? Just asking. EOS, Epstein OS, or EPOS. EPOS. Don't do that? Why? Use licenses. Oh, God. Fedify is written by Cursor. No, you're not censoring me. I hate that. I really don't like when people are like, I'm not going to censor myself. It's not censoring. That's a completely different thing. It was always Windows. Honest local DevOps hosting environment.
Text and edge cases. So here's some example. So
I'd love to meet home.
Property in an activity can be just a URL string, or it can also be an embedded object with several properties, or it can be an array of multiple actors. And so our three are valid representations according to the spec. So your code must handle all of them. So imagine writing if and else chains for every single property. That's what raw ActivityPub development looks like. So Fatify abstracts it away. With Fatify, you just call activity.getActor method. It returns actor or null, and TypeScript knows the exact type. If the actor is a URI, Fatify fetches.
This is beyond me.
Automatically, and if it's embedded, you get it directly. And if there are multiple actors, you can interact with getActors method. So your ID gives you auto-completion, and type errors are caught at compile time, not in production. And also notice that the security footnote. So cross-origin embedded objects are automatically refetched from their origin. This prevents spoofing attacks where someone embeds a fake actor object. Next, let's talk about cryptographic signatures, another major source of pain in ActivityPub development. Every ActivityPub request needs cryptographic signatures. For outgoing activities, you sign with your private key, and for incoming activities, you verify against the sender's public key. It sounds simple at first, but which signature scheme are there? So there are four major signature schemes. One is draft KBC, which is the de facto standard, and RFC 9421 is the official standard.
So I have a completely random question for folks. With Fireside Fetty, when it starts, I used to do a 10-minute timer. Once I was on with someone, I would kick off the 10-minute timer, it would count down, people could come in, and then I would start talking. I've done away with that for two reasons. One, kills my anxiety building up to a time that we're going to go live. And two, I don't think it's a valuable use of the person's time. So I just, once they're ready, I just jump in and I hit go. I'm okay with that. I know a lot of people will get the announcement. I've already started the conversation. So the other option is, let's say I have an episode tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern time. I started at 8:50 and I start the countdown going. But the problem is I never start on time. We either start early or we start late. So there's two options there. Is you would get the notification and then it could start kind of whatever. So do people like that idea? It could start anywhere between, when you get the notification to then starting whenever or even later and you would be listening to dead air, or is it fine just jumping into an episode and starting it? Because I've been loving the interaction. I love when people are there having these conversations, talking. I know I don't seem a lot of times like I'm looking and reading. I read all of it. I get excited. And when I can fit a question into the normal flow, I do. You have feelings on this. Eddie, want to hear them? 10 minutes feels long. Yeah. So, and Eddie, I think you have a valuable take on this. Green room time. Like, what do you So, yes, phone again. I took it off the desk. No, that was me. What do you mean valuable green room time? What does that mean in layman's terms? I know what the green room is when people hang out getting ready to go on this stage, but normally it's just me and them, and it feels really awkward. And again, my anxiety just goes through the roof with a freaking countdown timer, and then I have to kind of ease back into it. I'm assuming people notice I've changed quite a lot. I'm trying to be quite a bit more natural, not reading the different things. I've tried that, and it just, I don't know, doesn't feel as genuine when I'm reading some intro from a script.
Not widely adopted, and I think Mastodon recently adopted this, and LD signatures for embedded proofs, but it's also obsolete. And there are object integrity proofs for embedded proofs as well. And it's modern replacement of LD signatures, but not widely adopted. Different servers expect different schemes, and you need to hand over all of them.
Yeah, the problem is, Willian, I never know when I'll start.
You can use Spotify instead.
So I have the timer there, but it could start, like almost immediately or not. So I've kind of, and I hate doing that because I love the intro that Blonder gave me, but
look at this code, and you define an inbox listener.
See, and I think, Eddie, that's the reason why I don't do it anymore. I was doing exactly that. I was trying to talk to the person and get all the streams set up everywhere while the countdown's going, and it just freaks me out. Now I've been, I literally hop into the meeting like an hour, half hour beforehand, and I have it all set up even before then. So by the time someone comes on, it's like, okay, let's jump in.
Activities, and when a follow activity arrives, signature is already
yes, it's
you don't
very
any signature
internally stressing to me.
When you call context.send activity method, Spotify signs it,
and that's what I've been doing. But then the timer's still sitting there, just like looking at the person and trying to make small talk. It feels awkward
as well.
And then we get into, or on the other hand, we get into a conversation and then be like, oh, okay, it's time to go. We got to, hang on. We'll stop, back up, could do it all over again. And it's
the regular standard. And it also remembers the preference for future requests. So double knocking is only happen at first time for each peer. And this is kind of interoperability work.
Yeah, and to get in the character, like I talk to them first, and I ask if they have any questions, if they know the show, and then lately I'm just like, okay, you ready? Yeah, okay, let's go. And then I hit it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking, Eddie, is I don't have to be, and yes, the live people kind of miss out, but it's literally recorded and put on PeerTube. And I've not had anyone kind of complain about it or anything, which I'm very happy about, because that was my biggest concern. Like, oh, I missed the beginning of this. Like, I have a timer in there, And most folks seem to be there if they know something's coming on that they want. So I'm just making sure like I'm not missing, because and I can't thank you folks enough for all the help you've given me in making the quality as good as it's been. It can still get better, right? But something like the mic I had to the mic I have now is a huge gap. And now it's a whole bunch of little things, right? Like we've checked off a lot of the big stuff. If anyone sees anything glaring or blatant outside of stuff that I can't really do, I'm not a video editor. I'm terrible at it. I try, and Blender helped me with a lot of that, but oh God, Willian. Oh, thank you. I was messing with it earlier. It looked kind of junk, and now it looks okay. I seriously, it's like, I wonder what it'd be like to run a show. It's like, I don't think I could. The difference would be like if you have a team and I'm just focused on getting ready and actually talking to someone, it is significantly more stressful talking to someone. Excuse me. Talking to someone and trying to queue up stuff myself. But if I had a team that did a lot of it and I just talked, that'd be amazing. Nowhere near anything like that, right? Like it's me and it's just a lot.
For
yeah, logo.
You shouldn't have to do yourself, and Verify does it for you. And next, let's talk about scalability, specifically the fan out problem. What happens when you post to?
What's a 12 input show?
Followers?
You mean you had 12 different inputs to like 3 people, 6 graphics, 3 videos or something to manage? Is that what you mean?
There's a nice approach, 10,000 HP requests, and your server will time out. And because some servers are slow and some servers are temporarily down, and
thanks, local.
You should failed deliveries.
Gotcha.
Should be retried with exponential backup, and memory pressure based from queued request. And
yeah, there was a recent Jeff Geerling video where he showed inside of like the broadcast trucks, and oh my God, was that insane?
As well. And many servers have a single inbox for all users, and you should send once per server, not once per actor. So
I didn't know that.
You need to detect it and deduplicate this. So
OB truck.
All this from scratch would take weeks of work. So you will probably get it wrong the first few times. So Verify, with Verify, just configure a message queue.
Outside broadcast, okay.